Alright, so this is the first lesson where we're going to start to look at surface area, and we're going to start with cubes. So your goal is I can determine the surface area of cubes. So surface area is the sum of the area of all the faces of a shape. So here we have a cube, and then I have deconstructed it so you have the net of the cube here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as we look at surface area in the next couple of lessons, you're essentially going to be finding the surface area of this, of this, of this, of this, of this, and of this, and add them all together. Now, cubes are a little special because with cubes, since all of them are the same shape, a square, there's a nice little formula that you can use that will make it a lot easier, okay? And that formula is surface area equals 6a squared. But what you need to know is that if you ever forget that formula, you just add up the areas of every single face. Okay? So go ahead and take out your formula sheet, and you can pause the video if you need to, if you need some extra time to write this down. But we're doing surface area of a cube in this lesson. So in this formula, surface area equals 6a squared. A is the length of one side. Now because it's a cube, all of the sides are going to be the same length because a cube is made up of squares, and so squares all have the same length, okay? So over here in our example, A here is going to equal 5 centimeters. So if I use this formula, if I use this formula here, surface area equals 6a squared, surface area equals 5 squared. I have to follow order of operations, so I have to do exponents first. So surface area equals 6, 5 to the second power is 25, and then I'm going to do 25 times 6, which is going to give me 150. So your surface area is going to be 150 centimeters to the second power. Now, why to the second power? Well, even though we're talking about surface area, we're still talking about area. And remember that area is always squared. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at some examples here. So, what is the surface area formula? Surface area equals 6a squared. What is A? So remember, A is the length of one side. So A is 2.5 inches. Now, you can write this as a fraction, or you can also write it as a decimal. 2.5 as a decimal is 2.5 inches. So you work with whatever you're more comfortable working with. So let's go ahead and work out the problem here. Surface area equals 6. My 6's look terrible. 6a squared. Surface area equals 6. I'm going to use decimals because I like them better. Squared. Surface area equals, I have to do the exponents first. So 2.5 times 2.5, not times 2, okay, is going to be 6 times 6.25. Now, I finished the last step. Surface area equals 6 times 6.25, which is going to be 37.5. So my final answer is 37.5 inches squared. Now, for those of you that did it as a fraction, your answer is 37.5 inches squared. Either one of those are acceptable answers. Okay? Now, let's look at our next example here. Okay? Surface area formula. Surface area equals 6a squared. What is A? Remember, A is the length of one of your sides. 2 centimeters in this case. Okay? So, let's work it out. Surface area equals 6a squared. Surface area equals 6. Put 2 in parentheses because 2 is your A, squared. Surface area equals, we have to do the exponent first. 6 times 2 to the second power is 4. Surface area equals, 6 times 4 is 24. So my answer is 24 34 centimeters squared. All right, next problem. Surface area formula. Surface area equals 6a squared. A is 3.8 inches. So let's work it out. Surface area equals 6a squared. Surface area equals 6 parentheses 3.8 to the second power. I have to do my exponents first because that is order of operations. So 3.8 times 3.8 is going to be 14.44. And then I'm going to finish it off by multiplying that times 6. And I'm going to get 86.64. And my final answer is 86.64 inches squared. All right, you go ahead and try this one. Pause the video if you're not done. So your final answer should have been 0.375 yards squared. Remember that you have to do the exponent first. So if you got the wrong answer, my question to you is, did you do 0.25 to the second power first, or did you multiply it times 6 first? If you multiplied it times 6 first, that is the wrong step, and you would end up with the wrong answer. All right, go ahead and try this one next. Go ahead and pause the video if you're not done. So in this case, each of our sides was 1 centimeter. 1 to the second power is 1, so 6 times 1 is 6. So our final answer is 6 centimeters squared. All right, last one. You go ahead and try this one. Go ahead and hit pause if you're not done. So this one was a fraction, and so I'm giving you the fraction and the decimal answer. I solved it with a decimal because that's my personal preference, but I want to give you both available options. So your answer for decimal is 3.375 inches squared, or as a fraction, 3 3/8 inches squared. Okay, now if you left it as an improper fraction, that'd be 27/8 inches squared. So I'll write that one down as well. How about that? Okay, so now we have some word problems here. So what is the surface area of a cube that has a side of 3/4 inches? Draw a picture. So we're going to have to go ahead and draw a picture here of a cube. So you start off just by drawing a square. Then draw yourself a pair of diagonal parallel lines that are congruent. Ooh, this is looking more like a rectangular prism, actually. Alright, there we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see, mine is nowhere near perfect. It's a little difficult to draw on this. Oof, I need to start again. How about that? That's a little bit better. And then go ahead and label your sides as 3.4 inches. Okay, so our formula is surface area equals 6a squared. Our A is 3.4 inches. And then let's go ahead and solve. So surface area equals 6a squared. Surface area equals 3.4 to the second power. Surface area equals 6 times, and then 3.4 times 3.4 is going to be 11.56. And then our last step is to multiply that times 6. And we're going to get 69.36. So our final answer is that the surface area is 69.36 inches to the second power. Alright, example 5. So, one cube has a height of 10 centimeters and another cube has a width of 11 centimeters. What is the difference in the surface area between the two cubes? So the word difference is going to tell us subtraction. Okay, now this problem is trying to trick us a little bit because it tells us the height of one cube and the width of another. But what we know about cubes is that all the sides are the same. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work out the surface area for both of those shapes. So surface area equals 6a squared. Okay, and I'm actually going to write in another a equals here. Alright, so for the first one, I'm going to work out that one in red. We have 10 centimeters, so I'm going to do that one first. So we're going to do surface area equals 6a squared. Surface area equals 6, parentheses 10 to the second power. Surface area equals 6, 10 to the second power is 100. Surface area equals 6 times 100 is 600. Okay? Now I'm going to work out the one with 11 centimeters. Surface area equals 6a squared. Surface area equals 6, parentheses 11 to the second power. Surface area equals 6 times 121. Surface area equals, and then 121 times 6 is going to be 726. Now, it wants the difference in surface area between the two. So I'm just going to have to subtract these two now. So 726 minus 600. And that's going to give me 126 centimeters squared. Alright, you go ahead and try this one. Alright, go ahead and hit pause. So here it asks us to draw a picture, so make sure that you went ahead and did that, and label all of your sides as 1.25 miles. So we used our formula, and we first did 1.25 to the second power, which gave us 1.5625. We multiplied that times 6, and we got 9.375 miles to the second power. Alright, go ahead and do this, you try. Alright, go ahead and pause if you're not done. So in this U-try, it actually asked us the sum, whereas the one that we practiced asked us the difference. So for the first cube, it was a side length of 5.2 centimeters. So I got 162.24 centimeters squared. For the second cube, it had a side length of 1.75 centimeters. And when I worked that out, I got 18.375 centimeters squared. And then when I added them together, you should have gotten 182.615 centimeters squared. All right, that is the end of this lesson. We will continue to practice more in class.